Alright, here we are for round one. Friendly opponent, I appreciate that. The artiste.
He's just trolling you.
Yeah. Well, I think this one's probably...
Oh, good. Downplay our strength.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we don't have anything to play on turn 2, but our deck's pretty light on 2 drops to begin with. We have to draw a land, but I think we have a few turns to do. I think it's probably a keep. What do you think?
I mean, I'd say it either way. We're on the draw, right?
Yeah, we are on the draw.
Yeah, I'd say definitely here.
So we are going to go ahead and keep it. Would you like to mulligan? No. So we'll keep that. We'll put our opponent in the dark here. I would say so far it seems to me like white is not that strong in this set.
I think that white and maybe even black are at the bottom end, whereas blue, green, and red all seem pretty strong and well balanced.
Yeah. I mean, there's some pretty strong. All right, there's our
third land.
There's our third land. There's some pretty nice white cards, like the I'm gonna forget their names, but the
Pacifism's okay.
Pacifism's pretty good. Didn't see any of those. All right.
Yeah, we didn't see a single one, did we?
There's a couple slivers.
Uh-oh.
Not too worried about those at the moment. I guess we'll run out a...
What's the worst sliver we can see on turn 4 here?
There's the double strike sliver.
That's a 5-drop, right?
No, it's a 4-drop.
It's a 4?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, the white...
well, that would be the...
That would be the one...
Oh, and the one we passed?
The bone side sliver that we passed, yeah. So that would be the worst one, probably. But I think probably Brindle board a block here. Or do you think you go Trained Condor and then just figure out, like, hey, we can start bashing in for damage?
I would play the boar for blocking and attack.
Alright, I agree. Plus, if there's some sort of removal, we'd probably rather keep the Condor alive.
And we get 4 life.
Yeah, if we have to sacrifice it, we gain 4 life. Game over. Ooh, white-blue. I thought that was going to be that sliver for a minute. Alright, Charging Griffin, so that's pretty good. But no attacks, probably. Alright, so definitely missed a 4th land drop, but once we get one, that's not terrible. I think it's probably just Trained Condor here.
Are we attacking?
I don't... I mean, if we attack and play the Trained Condor, then we can't block. And I think maybe we'd rather be defensive.
Yeah, I mean, we'd be trading 2 damage for 2 damage, and I think we're the defensive deck, at least so far.
Well, and we're trading 2 for what's going to end up being 5. I mean,
well,
I mean, we're taking this anyway, but I agree. So I think that passing here is good. If we need to, we have a Frost Breath that we can use to slow him down, or a Sensory Deprivation as well.
Takes him out.
Alright, well that's means there's probably no tricks. Otherwise those slivers would probably be coming in. We will go ahead and just take that 3.
The main trick out of white is that +2/+4, I believe?
Yeah. Oh, there's the Air Servant we passed.
Oh.
Found it.
Well, now we get to ask, how often do we wish his Air Servant was a behemoth that he couldn't play?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think maybe Predatory Sliver and Sensory Deprivation, or do you think maybe just Frost Breathing the 2 flyers and on his turn is the way to go, save some damage?
I mean, the advantage of the first play you mentioned is we get to develop our board, and the Charging Griffin doesn't look like anything we're going to be able to block anytime soon, right?
Right.
Is that what you were planning to put the Sensory Deprivation on?
Well, I mean, it's between that and the Air Servant, and we don't have any way to deal with that at the moment either.
I mean, I guess we don't really have any removal anyway. I mean, when you have a creature that has an ability like that taps down flyers,
right?
You'd prefer to savior removal that just gets it off the board.
Right.
I don't know if we have that, do we?
We don't. I mean, that's the weakness, I think, in blue-green, especially if you don't end up with, like, Hunt the Weak or something, is that you end up without really any real removal other than some blue delay-type removal, and we didn't even get past any claustrophobias or anything to, like, lock down with blue.
Yeah, so I guess either one that you want to put the sensory deprivation on makes sense. I mean, if you put it on the Griffin, then it's just an 0-2.
Yeah.
Whereas if you put it on the Air Servant,
and when it attacks, it's still a 1-2. Oh no, yeah, you're right.
And if you put it on the Air Servant, then it still eats the Trained Condor.
That's true. I mean, hitting some lands would probably be good.
Yeah, but I think. I would go Sliver and Deprivation.
Sliver and Deprivation. At least we got the ground locked down for a minute. I mean... And you put the Deprivation on the Griffin.
I would. I mean, it doesn't let us attack in this turn with anything, but I mean we're playing for the late game right now anyway.
Yeah, and we don't have anything to do with this Air Servant at the moment anyway. I mean, if we get to 5 mana, the Enlarge might let us get rid of one of these guys, possibly. But, yeah, at the moment, it kind of feels like it would be good to have land. Or,
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, now I wish I had the Air Servant, so this guy didn't have it.
Right?
Yeah. Because this is probably the guy we were passing to, which means this Air Servant shouldn't be passed past us. So this might be the guy directly to our left, which means he might have the Double Strike Sliver.
Air Servant's... Oh, it's not common, it's uncommon.
It's uncommon, yeah. I mean, in a triple draft, I mean, it could very well be that... we're just going to take that 4. It very well could be that there was more than one of them, for sure, in a triple draft of the same block, but that's bad for us. Hey, look at that, a Jace. So I think we really have to just play Frost Breath on this guy's turn and tap down. I mean, I guess we could wait, but the hope is that you're going to draw a land and be able to play something. And you don't...
and we're going to, Frost Breath, obviously the 2 flyers, and then probably attack in on our turn?
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason to attack him right now.
Well, there would have been, except now his Drake eats your Condor.
Right,
so that doesn't do a whole lot.
Doesn't do a whole lot. So this one is not looking super strong at the moment.
I think a couple lands off the top and we're in business.
So we'll just play the Frost Breath on his beginning of combat before he can declare.
I would definitely do it before he declares attackers. That's, again, my expert opinion.
That's why you're here?
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Again.
So again, this is what makes Frost Breath so good, is you can play it as an instant on their turn, and not only are they tapped this turn, but they don't untap during his next turn, so it's kind of like 2 turns of attack reprieve, which may or may not get us back into this game, but it's definitely better than taking 10 off those guys. There's the Glimpse of the Future, so I don't think that card's really worth playing, but if you're really hurt, I guess it's not the worst.
It's use 3 mana for card selection, right?
Yeah, I mean, you get to pick out of your top 3 cards which one you want. I mean, that's not horrendous. I think if this card was an instant, it'd be pretty strong.
Yeah, well, it at least would be
more playable.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, there's a Mutavault.
Oh,
yeah.
How nice.
So, hey, look at that. So that kind of was what happened. I mean, I guess at this point we just attack with these 2 guys, since Train Condor can make him fly. There's no...
Yeah, I'd attack with all 3, but...
Oh, all 3? Yeah, I guess all 3 makes sense, because we're going to play the Bailiff, and if he had removal, we probably would have seen it. And we'll make the Sliver fly. Actually, I guess it doesn't matter who we make fly, probably.
No.
Yeah.
I guess the Sliver, since it has no relevant ability... Or, the Boar, since it has... The Sliver has no relevant abilities.
Yeah, if he wants to double trade or block the
and you know, he might, thinking that we could have other Slivers later.
That's true. Not that being super aggressive here is awesome, but because we're going to play the 4/4, which can't be countered with his current mana configuration. Might as well get in for damage with the Frost Breath in there, and there's no reason to not get your damage in when you can. I mean, if we draw another land, then Enlarged actually might do some work depending on his attacks. I mean,
if we draw a land, we have a few choices next turn.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think it's probably not the Spore Mound, but it depends on what he does, I guess.
The only bad thing right now is if we do Enlarge, he just gets rid of the guy we already use a removal card on.
Right. That's true. That's true. I mean, still get through with all the trample damage, but that is definitely true. I mean, that's the problem with the sensory deprivation, but...
Yeah, I mean, it might be worth... We'll have to look at our life total... Oh, lifelink. That's nice.
Yeah.
We'll have to look at our life total, but it might be worth holding on to the Enlarge as an alpha.
That's true. And that might be the case. Well, let's see if we draw a land, I guess. We did not. Well, that Scroll Thief will help with an Enlarge, I suppose, possibly.
Hey, we got the combo.
Yeah, the combo you dream of. This was my slight concern with this deck, without running any of the Verdant Havens, is that you could be stuck on 4 and our deck's full of 5 and 6 drops, which maybe 18 lands or maybe a Verdant Haven would have been better for this deck. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, hindsight is always, oh, hey, we're stuck on 4. If we had another land, we'd be in good shape.
But now that you mention it, this might be an 18 land deck.
It might be. So we'll see what we want to do with sideboarding. I think we want to attack with our 4/4 for sure, and probably our flyer, we can make it fly. We can get in for 6 and keep our 2/2s on the ground, or do we want to hold back in case we want to block this? I mean, if we get in for 6, but I mean, then we're going to take 5, so...
we're taking 5 regardless, though, right?
We are taking 5 regardless. If we keep the Bailiff back, this guy can't really attack into us, though, whereas if we swing with the Bailiff, then he can get the lifelink from this guy.
You think he'll triple block?
No, I don't. I think he'll take it, but what I'm saying is if we swing with the Bailiff, then we don't have him back to be able to block the 2/4 with the lifelink, so he's going to gain 2 life back because we can't block it unless we double block, which I guess I would be willing to do, but...
But then he takes 4 and gains 2.
Yeah.
As opposed to taking 0 and gaining 0.
That's true, and I mean with the Scroll Thief it can actually block this guy too.
Sure.
So maybe we want to attack with the Condor and the Bailiff and deal 6, get in for 6.
Yeah, I think so.
And I mean, unless he wants to chump block, and if he does, then the Enlarge becomes a lot better.
Yep.
Alright, so we'll try to keep at least a little pressure on. I mean, next turn we're taking a lot of damage, but at least we got a little bit of racing going on, I guess. I watched a video earlier, which today is Friday, for those of you who are watching, so it's pre-release just started today. I saw someone earlier playing with the Mindseeker, and it actually seemed very good. I mean, not only is it a 4/4 flyer, which is sick, but, I mean, it hits sometimes. So even if you consider it like a Sarah Angel, which is a 4/4 for 5, then you pay 1 more.
5 cards to get a spell?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean...
And you can cast it without paying its cost, so, I mean, you could...
What was our scientific analysis? 50%?
Yeah, 50% based on all of our... we'll leave the green open for Giant Growth.
That's not in the set.
Giant Growth is in the set, isn't it?
Is it?
I think it is.
Question, is Giant Growth in this set?
I think it is. Let's...
yeah, you know what? I think you're right.
Yeah, let's... I think it is.
I know the Hexproof one that we... Did we take it? I don't know if we took that one.
We did not. The Ranger's Guile?
Yeah.
We did not take it. I think Giant Growth is in this set. I think Giant Growth is in every set. Yeah, there it is. This time it's a giant bear.
Okay.
So, there you go. But, let's go back to see how bad we're going to lose here.
Yeah, we got this.
I mean, we're in it. We're definitely in it.
Oh, you're tagging with the Paladin, huh?
Well, I think...
Look at the stones on this guy.
Yeah, I mean, you think he's maybe just not thinking that we're going to double block? What kind of trick could he have there?
The white one is...
+2/+4, Divine Favor, is that what it's called?
Yeah, you're asking the guy who didn't remember that Giant Growth was in the set.
Yes, that's
so,
true. Well,
take it for what it's worth, but I don't know of any blue card that does anything, right?
I mean, not an instant, I don't think. I mean, a card that puts, like, basically like a boomerang type effect, like put it back in your hand type of deal.
Well, I mean, there's no real loss to him attacking. If we block with a Scroll Thief, he just gains 2.
Right.
If we double block, actually, I mean, that's better for us.
I'm considering triple blocking, but
I guess that doesn't.
I mean, if he's got +2/+4, he's still going to eat 2 guys. Either way, he's going to eat 2 guys. I mean, it doesn't.
Yeah, and if he has the Celestial Flare that we passed,
then we can just get rid of one of our guys.
Well, do we want to sack the Scroll Thief though?
Well,
maybe we do.
I mean, this guy can block the Scroll Thief anyway.
Yeah.
At the flying.
Yeah.
And so can this guy. So the Scroll Thief's not really doing a lot for us right now.
Fair enough.
So I think I want to triple block here and see what happens. I mean, this could be a huge blowout depending on what he's got, but I think triple blocking is probably the right... I don't know if that's right or not, but...
I think you're right. I don't think there's too many blowout cards in the set here.
And you're right, we passed several Celestial Flares.
Did we?
Yeah, there was like at least 2 or 3 of them. So if that's the case,
why did we do that? Why are we not in white?
Yeah, why aren't we in white? And we could even had a Bone Scythe slower.
Oh, man.
That card is pretty nuts, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in my sealed pool that I did on the pre-release, I had that with a few different slivers. All right, here comes the trick. Let's see. We're about to find out.
You called it already.
Show of Valor, +2/+4. So that's okay. Show of Valor. That's what we were talking about. So he's going to eat 2 of our guys, but I think I still think the triple block's the right way to go.
If you sack the boar, you still only lose 1 guy, right?
Correct, because he's going to deal 2 and 5. So I guess we should go ahead and do that.
Unless you think he has a second one.
If he's got a second one, he's got us. He's got us. So we just lose a Predatory Sliver.
So
that didn't work.
It sort of is a 1-for-1, except we use a card as a life gain spell, which is probably not what you want to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think based on the trick, it could have been much worse. So now we have a few options. I still think you're probably right about the Enlarge. It's probably not the right play here.
Well, just quick math. What happens when we play Enlarge here?
Well, if we play Enlarge, depending on who we play it on, I mean, we probably play it on the Scroll Thief.
I would think so.
So that it can draw a card. And then we'd swing with these 2, make this guy fly. Yep. Probably. Although, I guess if we did that, the Trained Condor would get eaten by the Seacoast.
Alright, well, what if we just attacked with the Bailiff and the Thief?
Okay, so if we attack with the Bailiff and the Thief, I mean, I don't think he's going to quadruple block with the Dawn Strike and the 2. I mean, he also has the Mutavault, so we can't forget about that. But,
well, I mean, he probably will at least double block since we'd be tapped out.
Possibly. I mean, he might prefer to have the creatures rather than... He might just take that damage, but I don't know. The Enlarge makes this guy 8, 10. It has to be blocked, so he probably chump blocks with maybe this guy, but he still takes...
Takes 6.
6?
What if we just played it on the Scroll Thief and attacked solo?
Could do that too, and just keep this guy back to block the ground. I mean, we're going to take 4 in the air off of this guy. I mean, keeping this guy back might be the correct choice because of the Dawn Strike Paladin, and I think that's probably correct. And we probably don't want to play Chase because, I mean...
He just eats it.
We +1 it, so we draw a card. You know, you +1 it to draw a card, so we'd have to hit it twice. But, I mean, if he swings with everybody, he would hit it, but he would he would lose.
Well, what if he just swings with the 2 flyers?
Well, that's true. I mean, you'd have to chump block, so that's true. So I think you're right. I mean,
what about Swarman?
A 3/3 that whenever you play a land, you get a Saproling token. I mean, I would say that you could play that this turn or next turn. Our grounds, we kind of got the ground locked up if we hold the Bailiff. The thing is, if we could swing with the Bailiff.
So you want to play Enlarge on the Thief and attack?
I think that's probably maybe the best choice. I mean, this guy's obviously the biggest threat here, for sure. Because I guess we're on a 4-turn clock with that guy, so we got a little bit of time. And if we play the Mindseeker, we might hit something good. Plus, as a 4/4, I mean, he can tap it down is the problem, but he does only have 1 blue mana. But this guy's tap down ability is clearly legit. So, I mean, he can even tap down the Mindseeker. I mean, we would play the Mindseeker anyway, but...
Just to put it out there, he does have Frost Breath mana open.
He does. Alright, so we're back. We had to stop the video for a second. We're playing a little slow. Sorry, over-analyzing things. We're talking about whether Spore Mound or Enlarge would be better here, and I think I'm going to go ahead. We're talking about playing around like Frost Breath or something like that. I mean, Celestial Flare would get us here again.
Sure.
There's several things that could get us here, but we're going to go ahead and not worry about it. We're going to try to play the Enlarge on the Scroll Thief. There's counter spells as well.
YOLO, as they say.
Yeah, YOLO, as the kids would say. We're going to try to get in for damage and draw a card. Is the hope. 4 mana open. It could be a Celestial Flare here. Could be various.
Jeez. By the way, if it's Celestial Flare, we probably should attack with more than one. But
yes. I don't think we can do that though.
Yeah. Don't Frost Breath us.
Yeah, Frost Breath could get us, but I don't think you can play around any of those things. And Spore Mound, this guy is the one who's the real threat to us. So developing our ground is awesome and all, but this guy's got Vigilance, so the Spore Mound doesn't get through it. The Spore Mound doesn't seem to really, while developing our board is great, it doesn't seem to give us much of a threat. I guess it means we could attack with a Rumbling Bailiff.
Alright, no breath.
Alright, so let's see what happens.
I'm guessing he's got to just block the Griffin.
It seems like the Griffin would be the correct block if you don't have some sort of trick. I mean, there's the blue boomerang type card. There's stuff. I mean, with 4 mana and 3 cards in hand, like, you would think he's got to probably have something. But...
no, he's got 3 lands.
Yeah, he's got 3 lands he's holding. I think this gives us our best chance to try to win this game, which is obviously what the goal is.
Yeah, we rip another Enlarge right off the top here.
So he'd rather block with the Sliver than the Charging Griffin. That's interesting. I guess he thinks this guy's a chump blocker for the air. Like,
I suppose.
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't do much against even our Train Condor.
And it does also block the Scroll Thief.
Yeah, so he's going to take 7 here. So that... I mean, that worked enough. I mean, Coral Merfolk's
perfect draw off the top.
Yeah. Exactly what we were hoping for.
Uh-oh.
Alright, so here's something. Okay.
You will not block with that.
We will not block with the Train Condor. And so, I mean, I guess he could swing for 5 if he wants to here.
F6.
Yeah, we're going to have to play quicker next game for sure. Obviously, we're a little over-analytical on this one, but I think there's been some interesting plays on this game.
Yeah.
I don't think it's been super
Did you
clear.
hit F6?
No.
Well, but so now you hit F6.
Well, F6, does it even give you a chance to block with the F6?
Yes.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
I usually F4.
No, F6 is the best button.
Oh, and I totally did not block the Dawnstrike Paladin. So, we're talking about it. I mean, he's probably got a trick, right? I mean, you can't attack into this if you don't have a trick.
Yeah, probably.
But it's probably the right play to block anyway.
Yeah. No, F6 is a beautiful button.
F4 is pretty similar, I think.
Yeah, but F6 saves you more time.
Okay. Yeah, I like to try to finish my rounds with like 10 seconds left. That's the way I do.
Well played.
Yeah. So I mean, that's how I do things.
Sure.
You play your way, I'll play mine.
Okay.
So I don't even know what we want to draw, really.
Another Enlarge.
I don't think Jace is gonna do. I mean, if we could pull 20 cards out of his deck, maybe Jace was the right play. Maybe you try like,
well, I mean,
mill him out of nowhere.
Let's see. If he plays something now, well, no, but he can tap down or 1 flyer on his turn as well.
Right.
But if you play Jace now and mill him for 10, then he taps down your flyer and kills Jace, and you haven't really gotten anywhere. But
yeah, no, things are a little dicey, I would say. I think the Mindseeker is probably what we're hoping to play. No, that guy's pretty good, I think.
Flyers.
Alright, so we can play the Mindseeker.
Yeah, I think I'd go for it.
I think so too, and And just don't attack, or do we attack with the Bailiff?
I would play Mindseeker first and see what we hit.
Yeah, that's pretty reasonable. I would say that's probably a pretty good choice.
And it does stink to be attacking with mana tapped all the time, but it's
yeah.
worth it to see
agree.
if we can hit something to deal with his guys.
If he's got something in blue and white that gets rid of an Air Servant, we're in good shape. I don't think there is such a thing in blue-white.
You know, the blue-white kill a flyer.
There is a Celestial Flare. There is a Disperse.
Disperse actually kind of does it.
So I guess we'll play Disperse on...
Oh, except he just played another flyer.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
We're not trying to sacrifice an attacking or blocking creature, so I guess it's Disperse. I did click the spell. Not the Charging Griffin. I mean, if we put the Seacoast Drake back, I'm just talking out loud. If we put the Seacoast Drake back, we can attack with lots of stuff, but I don't...
Yeah, I agree with that.
You think putting the Seacoast Drake back?
And you could put it on the Air Elemental, which might be the better play, just to make him tap out next turn to play something. And
he can't tap down our guys.
Dude, he's trying to clock you. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You're playing right into it.
I almost think the Air Servant might be the better way to go. You think the Seacoast Drake, so we can attack with the Rumbling Bailiff and the Train Condor?
Yeah, if you do that, then he blocks the Condor and takes 4. Then
chump blocks, takes 4.
Oh, yeah, I keep forgetting he can chump block. Yeah, I would do the Air Servant.
Yeah, I think we got to do the Air Servant to try to just live a little bit. I think here we probably attack with the Rumbling Bailiff, right? I mean,
he just double blocks or triple blocks even.
I mean,
all we're getting rid of is the Paladin. I mean, maybe that's worth it. Our 4/4 for his 2/4 lifelink vigilance.
I think that might be worth it.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. He probably just chump blocks.
Yeah. If I were him, I would probably quadruple block since, you know.
I'm going to do it. If he's got another Celestial Flare, which he very well could because we passed several of them.
I think there's only 1 or 2, but...
There was 2. There was at least 2.
Alright.
And I mean, obviously, we have to block with a Mindseeker if there's an attack incoming or, you know, something.
Please press F6. Please. You won't do anything else this turn.
Yeah. Alright, I hit it.
Okay. That was a winning play.
Next game, the commentary will be much less intense. It'll be much quicker.
That means we need to win this one.
No, you just win 2 super quick.
Okay.
I don't think we're winning this one, but
I would love our chances.
We'll
but
there might be a chance though.
Pull Howl of the Night Pack off the top with a land shortly thereafter.
I will say that next turn we can attack with the Mindseeker.
Yeah, I think we probably have to, since he can just tap it down on our turn.
Right.
After he plays the Air Elemental.
Right.
Or,
on his next, he can play it on his next turn or tap it down on our turn 2 turns after, because he's only got, unless he draws an island. At this point, he can only play his guy.
He can't even do it. No, I mean, he plays Air Servant, and can tap it down.
Right.
And then on his next turn, he can.
Right. So I'm not even really sure what the best plan is there, but let's see what he wants to do here.
Attack. Just attack.
Well, this... Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So he's quadruple blocking. I mean, I think killing the Seacoast Drake and the Sliver probably, right? Over the Warden? Because, I mean, the Train Condor at least can... I don't know. I mean, this guy's not that important, but I think 1-2 and then leave this guy and at least the Train Condor trades.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's got tricks, he's got tricks, so...
It's the old 1.5 for 1.
Yeah, I mean... I think that's actually pretty okay.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what he is planning on doing with this Charging Griffin.
Blocking the Scroll Thief.
Yeah. Well, I mean, our board just got more interesting. So this time, I think I'm just going to block with the Scroll Thief. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he probably just lets it happen and gains 2. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's got a servant cost 1 less.
He's got a grip full of cards. He is down to 15 cards. If we can live like 5 more turns, drop a Jace, boom.
That'd be pretty sick.
That would be pretty sick. I don't think we're gonna live that long. Shit!
Who called it?
I don't even.
Same play.
On the Scroll Thief?
Yeah.
And then just attack with the Mind... just a Scroll Thief?
Well, I would not play it on a flyer that he can just tap down.
Well, sure. I mean, if that's the way you want to figure it. So, but do we want to attack with anybody else?
No.
I mean, the thing is, we play the Enlarge on this guy. He can tap down one of our flyers. So I guess if we attack with both...
I mean, he'll probably tap down the Mindseeker anyway. So...
but if he doesn't, maybe we swing with it too.
I agree with that.
I mean, he can swing back for 6. But...
Alright, he's not tapping anything down.
Well...
Oh, no, here we go.
I mean, I would say if I only leave this guy, then on his turn, he taps it down and swings back for the full amount, because we won't have anyone to block.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just got to be the Scroll
actually, I think we're just dead on board.
Are we dead on board?
Yeah. He taps down a guy on our turn and then on his. So let's see what we draw.
That's true. That's true. That's probably was a bad choice.
I don't know that we have any play that gets around that. I guess
we are representing Giant Growth for the win, I think.
Yeah. Nah, he's not worried about it. Maybe we'll draw Giant Growth.
Could happen.
Boom. Howl the Night Pack off the top.
If this was an island, we could play Coral Merfolk and not lose.
Yeah.
But,
that's true.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think he taps down a flyer, swings for 8.
He's played pretty solid. I don't think he'll miss it.
No, I think he's got this one. Plus, he's got the extra land, too.
Oh, and an extra attacker.
Yeah, that's what I mean, like the extra attacker with the Mutavault.
Yeah.
So I think that was just a bad play.
I don't... Does Spore Mound get us anywhere?
I don't think it does. The only thing we could do is we could have played like Jace, drawn a card, and maybe played like a Coral Merfolk. Like couldn't even played it. We could have played Jace and drawn a card and maybe made him attack Jace, or played Jace.
I suppose so.
We could have played Jace and hit him for -10, and then he has to kill Jace.
That also would have killed our entire clock for this match, which means we just can't win it all.
Yeah, that's a valid point. Sounds very windy outside.
Yeah, he saw it.
So, yeah, swinging with everyone here probably will just go ahead and do it.
He doesn't have the... Oh, he does have it.
Alright, so that was probably a bad choice. Well, those Tyvabs would have come in handy.
Yeah.
So, would we have had a chance in that game if we would have drawn a land sooner? I think so. We got stuck on 3 for a while and then stuck on 4 for a while.
I do think, like...
Do we want to run an 18th land, or do we want to just run a Verdant Haven?
I think an 18th land. I mean, the times that you're going to wish that that one of your lands in hand was a Verdant Haven, I think is going to be low.
What do we want to pull for the Howl? I mean, that's another card. I mean, that is a card that's good for mana, but...
Yeah, but our deck does seem a little too slow already.
Yeah, and I don't know that we need a negate or a cancel. So maybe just a Howl for another forest.
Well, I mean, he's killing us by having too many flyers that we can't deal with.
Right.
Yeah, we didn't get any of those giant spiders.
Yeah, past the giant spiders for for the second enlarge. Maybe the spider would have been better.
A couple of them.
Maybe the spider would have been better than the enlarge.
Maybe.
Especially with, I mean, we don't have a ton of creature. I mean, the enlarge almost got us there.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, they really got us close. It just was, we got stalled out too long. I mean, we could also pull like an opportunity or something over a howl, but I think opportunity might be pretty good.
Yeah.
Do we want to add just a forest, or do we want to add an island so that we're 9 and 9?
Yeah, I think an island's fine.
Alright, so that's what we're going to do, and we will run it back, and we're going to play much quicker.
Yeah.
Alright, here we are for game 2. We will play first. Again, we got a 2-lander, but we got a 2-drop, and it looks pretty strong if we can get there. Plus, we have an Essence Scatter after our Predatory Sliver. I think that's a keeper.
Yep.
So, we'll see what happens. Sure. Suntail Hawk.
Okay.
I would say overall this guy's deck doesn't seem like super strong. The flyers are good, of course, for blue.
Yeah.
The Air Servant definitely got us that game.
Yes.
I don't know if it would have been better. I don't know still that it was the right choice for us. Possibly it was. So, I mean, we're just going to run a Brindlebore out there. I mean, can hold an Essence Scatter, but I don't think I want to do that just yet. So, but I am, we were talking about this a little bit earlier, I'm looking forward to some M14 Draft. I like RTR block draft, but I think getting back to some, I would say basics. It's kind of fun to get into a different format that, you know.
Yeah.
Alright, there's a Scroll Thief. So, probably just pass and hold up Essence Scatter. What do you think? I mean, we don't want to let the Scroll Thief get in for damage, and attacking with one guy is not going to do anything.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think passing makes sense. Taking one from the Suntail Hawk. If the Suntail Hawk gets there, we deserve to lose, is the way I look at things. So if that's the one that gets us in 18 turns, then so be it. And if you have 4, like, you can still counterspell things, I think. So.
Yes. Now is a good F4 time.
Yeah, okay. So that's what we're going to do. Probably Essence Scatter anything that he could play, or nothing. I think we'll just go ahead and move on. Apparently 18 lands is not enough for this deck. 18 is not enough. So I think it's the same plan, just take one more and be ready to Essence Scatter whatever comes our way. I don't think we really need to Frost Breath those guys to deal 4 damage, so...
Old pre-combat Air Servant? Come on, Air Servant.
Illusionary Armor.
Ugh.
+4/+4. When it becomes a target spell ability, sacrifice it. So I guess pre-combat we're just going to Frost Breath these guys now. So...
Hey, Frost Breath for
Frost Breath,
0 card disadvantage and tempo all advantage.
Frost Breath got some value there.
Oh, hey.
So... that could have been worse. It seems like Illusionary Armor is fairly strong. I mean, being the target of anything makes it not as good.
Ooh, come on, land. Oh.
So I guess we want to enlarge here
I would go for it.
and put it on. I mean, it doesn't really matter what we put it on. I guess one of these guys. So he has to block. He has to block one of them, and I guess it doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah, I'd go board just on the off chance. I can't think of any removal, but...
This guy seems pretty good.
Yeah.
It's sort of like what's his face from the RTR block?
Snare Squad, yeah.
Yeah, Snare Squad.
Except you don't have to tab mana for him.
He's down to 1. So the enlarge doing some work here, and a very quick game if we can win.
Yeah, maybe he'll concede.
I mean, his Scroll Thief can draw a card.
He shouldn't concede, no matter what.
His Scroll Thief can definitely draw a card here. So I think it's worth doing that to put him down to 1, but... Okay, so that was a very quick game, so we still have a chance of pulling this out.
If I was him, I totally would not have conceded and taken up every single second, but we're supporting him.
I also would do that. I've said several times I have no problem winning by decking my opponent. I don't usually resort to...
Clocking, yeah.
Clocking. I don't generally resort to underhanded tricks to do so, but...
You don't open trade with your
yeah.
opponent?
No, but maybe I should. So I think we just run it back the way it was there. I mean...
It can't lose, honestly.
Cannot lose, so we'll go to game 3.
Do you separate out or just go? Video, do you separate out?
No, I here... and speaking of missing, I'm pretty sure this is a miss here.
Yep. Looks like one land. Looks like no lands.
I'm telling you what, man, I've been running so brutally. But we'll keep this.
Yeah, nothing else you can do.
So it's not looking good. But a one-lander into a no-lander, sometimes you don't really have much of a choice.
Yeah.
Oh, at least we do another one. So, booyah.
I swear, every time you keep a land-heavy hand...
It really does feel that way. Alright.
Every time. I want to start keeping stats on this.
So things are looking pretty poor. Pretty bad here. This guy's got some slivers.
What do you mean? Train Condor goes all the way.
Yeah. Train Condor's gonna have to trade with a sliver. Oh, Phantom Warrior. Alright, so...
Jeez.
This guy's never gonna see our 4-island hand coming. I mean, we have to offer a trade here with the Sentinel Sliver.
Hell, the island pack is looking pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, we have to block here. I think. Don't you think so? I think we absolutely have to. I don't think we have many options, unfortunately. So, yeah. Alright. Well, this game's looking pretty poor. So it looks like round 1 of this Swiss is probably going to go to the losers. We're going to probably lose, is what I'm trying to say. It's going to go to this guy.
Wow, dude. Calling your opponent a loser.
Yeah. I mean, the artiste, he seems like a nice guy. He's probably not a loser. Now would be a sweet time to have one of my counter spells.
Oh, you didn't tap 2? Come on.
Alright. So here we go with the double greens and the... You would think in a hand of 7 lands you might be able to cast one of your double green. But you would be wrong. So I don't think there's any possible way to come back from this game. But let's run
that actually does nothing. But
it does nothing, but I mean, what am I going to do? Play nothing?
Yeah.
And I missed too. Oh, Glimpse. Alright, sure, what the hell, let's play Glimpse.
Game-winning spell for 0 right here.
I think Opportunity is actually the best card out of those.
Take Jace. Just so we can die with the Jace in our hand. I don't know what value that is, but...
There's got to be some value in that. So, yeah. So, we didn't run out of time. So that's the that's the good news. We did not get clocked. Yeah. Alright, well... That was unfortunate. I still think this deck is better than it played out. Obviously, being light on creatures in a blue-green deck is not amazing, but I think our spells are pretty good, and our creatures that we do have are pretty strong. But I would say we were pretty unlucky in the first game in that we stalled out on 3 land and then stalled out on 4 land for quite some time. Game 2, we just trampled him.
When we built this deck, I kind of thought this might be a double mull into a 1-spell hand kind of deck. So, it's the biggest thing against it.
That did come to fruition here, Game 3. But I mean,
yeah,
I don't think there was really any... Game 3, there was nothing we could do. I don't want to keep a 1-lander even with, like, land nowhere else, as it were.
Did we have it?
We did.
Oh, well, God, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah, no, we had the elves, but we had a handful of blue cards and no island.
Yeah.
Obviously, in hindsight...
that was better than our 5. Yes.
It was better than our 6 for sure with 0 lands, and better than our 5. So
yeah, game 1 was the pivotal game. But
I mean, the deck is definitely powerful. I mean, you saw in Game 2, we just kind of ran over him with the Enlarge, which is pretty strong. I think it's a pretty strong spell.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's stronger if you have a lot of creatures, which you would think a blue-green deck would have a lot of creatures. You would think we would have a lot of them, but somehow... I mean, I guess we passed some creatures.
We kept taking the superior spell, which
Yeah.
might have been a mistake at one or two spots.
Yeah,
but
maybe the Spider over the second Enlarge would have been better. I mean...
Gosh, that's hard to say. But yeah.
In hindsight, against this guy's flying deck, that would be true. Although the Spider wouldn't have stopped the Air Servant anyway. I mean, the Air Servant's just such a beating. Maybe that's where we went wrong. Is maybe taking the Air Servant would have been better than. I mean, we never fucking drew it, so it's hard to know. But the 4/4 who turns into an 8/8 Trampler, we never drew. But the Air Servant definitely.
No, just bad luck for the round. I think our deck's fine.
I think so, and I actually, in hindsight, and not just because we lost to Air Servant, but in the games I've played before this draft too, the Air Servant won me so many games just by itself. I think the Air Servant probably was the right pick, and I'm willing to go ahead and say that I think that was a mistake. I think I should have taken the Air Servant there. At the time, my thinking was we thought we were going to be green for sure, and that we weren't sure about being blue.
That's why I don't know if that's a mistake. I mean, we didn't ever draw our Behemoth to compete with his Air Servant, so I mean, it makes it easier. And if we had that Behemoth out in Game 1, it would have been an 8/8 Trampler.
It would have done some damage.
That probably would have won us the game, right?
That's true. I would just say I think that's definitely true, and I think it's very strong. But maybe in general, if you think you're playing blue, the Air Servant's a 4/3 that taps down flyers, so you're getting in for almost 4 a turn. Not quite unblockable, but pretty good.
It also was better in his deck than it would have been in ours.
That's true
because
also.
He's all flyers.
That's true. Alright, well, it looks like round 2 starting, so we'll go to round 2.